Welcome back to the Glow Up Girl podcast. I am Kyra, and today we're talking meditation and its role in mental health with Terry Sidhu. He is a meditation teacher and author of the book Meditate. So welcome, Terry, to the Glow Up Girl podcast.
Thank you for having me, Kyra. I'm very happy to be here.
Yes. Well, let's go ahead and dive in because I love meditation. As I just told you a few minutes ago, I started meditating, actively meditating a year ago. And so it's life-changing. So let's jump in and you tell the audience about yourself.
Okay, so meditation has been in my life since I can remember. My mum was the one who really introduced me to meditation. And just meditating was just like sleep in my world. And it wasn't until I was in my mid-20s till I realized, oh, wait, people don't meditate? What's going on here? And my life, I grew up, I was bullied a lot at school, so meditation was my kind of escape. And I kind of loved being more in my world in meditation than I was in the world with my body, if that makes sense. I really enjoyed being in my mind space. So I really took to meditation very easily. And my mum sold it to me like a superpower, so I was always training it. So I was very excited about meditating all the time. And then things started clicking into place. And I started getting drawn to literature and scriptures that encouraged me to deepen my meditation and taught me things about creation that I wasn't learning in school, for instance, or wasn't being talked about around communities. Mm-hmm. And then from the age of 16, life, I grew taller, lost all the puppy fat, motivations changed, puberty kicked in. So I stopped meditating. I became popular at school. So there was this kind of gap in my life between 16 to the age of 25 where I just became, I don't know, it was like sex, drugs, and rock and roll all the way. I caught up with that. Life caught up with me very quickly. Mm-hmm. And I decided to get sensible in my mid-20s, and I moved to Canada from the UK, and just kind of decided to figure out life from the ground up. I only had a little bit of money with me. And then after some phase of events, I started a coaching company. I used all my marketing skills. I went to school for marketing and turned them into personal development ones. So I started working with people and helping them kind of plan their lives. And then I started my life coaching company. That started building very quickly in Vancouver. And then my clients started asking me about mental health. And I was like, well, I meditate. What do you do? Because I just kickstarted my meditation practice back up then as well. Mm-hmm. And they were like, what's meditation? And then it just blew my mind. I was like, wait a minute, you don't know anything about meditation? You don't meditate? I was like, I understand if you're lacking meditation, but you don't know nothing about it. That was shocking to me. So right. We got to change that. And then that's how I started getting into teaching meditation, something I never thought I'd do.
Yeah, well, since you mentioned what is meditation, there may be some listeners out there today that may not truly understand what meditation is. So can you talk about meditation?
Yeah, the simplest way to put it is think of meditation as to study an experience of life. You are essentially sitting in a space where you're dealing with whatever you're dealing with separately. So for example, I use my hands to explain it because it's quite in depth. Mm-hmm. So in meditation, you are a creator. Everything that you're experiencing in life is a creation. So this could be your stress, your anxiety, all those sounds and distractions that get in the way of your meditation. Every single thing now is a creation that is separate from you. And then you're sitting in a space where you're studying how this came to be. Mm-hmm. So an example would be, let's say you've got a problem in your life, a creation. You are the creator now witnessing that problem, and you are studying it to understand, well, how did this creation come to life? Why is it here? How did it become present? What is the source of this creation? And then once you understand the source of your problems, you still sit in your state of creation and you can create solutions for it. And once you've understood solutions, you can return back to your problem and evolve it, and so that you can be more present in life. Meditation like sleep, you can consider an unconscious process. You know, you're in sleep, your own body's unconscious. You're not really paying attention to what's going on in your mind or the processes. Meditation is a conscious version of that. It's really separating yourself from whatever you're dealing with in life, just to kind of pay attention to it. And then it deepens, because just as, like, for example, a problem or stress or an anxiety can be seen as a separate creation from yourself. Once you start clearing your mental health issues, you can start raising yourself now to another state of awareness where there's you and your body. And you're like, what's the source of this creation? And now you're entering those deeper states of meditation until you get to the point where you're turning on yourself now. Like, you know, you just keep going further and further out. Right. And I talk about this in my book about the history of meditation, which really kind of ties it all in as to what meditation is. It's a very difficult one to answer. It's like describing what sleep is.
Right.
Yeah. But think of it, so just quickly, just to add this to the definition, is where sleep helps you recover from the limitations of your body, meditation helps you recover from the limitations of your mind. And that's the easiest, probably straightforward way to think of it.
That is a straightforward way to say it.
I should have started with that.
No. But you have to dig deeper. You have to understand all the things that you mentioned before, because it's not just sitting and being still, or, you know, it's like you have to dig. Your mind has to go to a deeper place, and all that is important. So if listeners or watchers of this podcast are out there and they're saying, you know, well, how do I start? What advice do you have for someone that may be saying, oh, I really have wanted to try meditation, but I'm not sure of what to do first?
Well, if you've ever dealt with a problem and solved it in your life, you've practically already know how to meditate. It's just being conscious of that process. Have you ever had like a situation where it's just gone so tough and intense that you just had to leave and just get some fresh air, clear your mind, and then come back to the situation? That within itself is a type of meditation. So we're already doing it in our lives. To consciously do that, I would highly recommend to start with breath first. Meditation, when you don't necessarily have to sit in contemplation. You don't have to sit down and start oming tomorrow. You can literally just, what my favorite tip is for newbies is go grab a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, go lean up against that window and just watch the world go by. And while you're watching the world, all you need to pay attention to is your breath. And breath is the fundamental component to your life. It literally is the foundation on which your life is built on. The fact that you can even experience what you're experiencing is because you are breathing. So that's the first thing that we need to learn to exercise and control when we're starting our meditation practice. So go about your everyday life. You can go grocery shopping. You can go lean up against the window and just observe and just consciously start breathing. And you'll start noticing a little shift. You start realizing how much more in control you are. You start realizing how certain emotions change your breath and the frequency of your breath. Breath is like a pump that pumps life. And that life is, we can call it something or whatever, but there's this magic which gives life, and pump is the thing that keeps the magic alive. So when we're in control of breath, we're essentially in control of that magic that keeps us alive and keeps us going and keeps us focused and in control. So whenever we're in a situation whereby we're feeling stressed or anxious, just as long as we're exercising that breath and knowing to place breath ahead of every thought, feeling, and sensation, that's where your meditation practice begins. Just breathing, just start breathing. That's all it takes. And then you'll venture in. If you want the 5 steps that I teach, you find your control breath first. So inhale and exhale through your nose at a comfortable control rate. The guidance I give my clients is, imagine if there was only one way that you wanted to breathe for the rest of your life. Imagine just like building your life based on the frequency and of your breath and the pace of your breath. What would that breath be? Would you be breathing like this? Or would you be like really gentle or really comfortable with it? Find your control breath. Once you're in control, now you know your control state. You're building around your life and your entire experience, whether it's in meditation or not, around that state of breathing. So if it gets too intense, if you're connecting to a trauma, go back to this. You're back in control. Then once you're in control, get comfortable, because what will happen is your sensations in your body will come up that maybe you weren't paying attention to before. I've seen people run marathons and completely numb to any pain in their body. And the moment they stop and they start breathing, pain. So listen to your body and get more comfortable, especially if you're new to sitting in meditation. So breathe, get control. Step 2, position, get comfortable. Then once you're in position, once you're in control and in position, it's time to lock into your meditation. Now, locking is just a ritualistic process in the beginning stages. As you deepen your meditation practice, you realize you're entering more trance-like states. And that's basically rolling your eyes up towards the center of your mind. It's kind of basically indicating that you're moving away from your physical senses and to your metaphysical ones, from outside to inside, from your eyes to your third eye, if you will. And then once you're locked into your meditation, you are actively meditating. But let's just say now you get distracted by a sound or a thought or a feeling or a sensation. You simply repeat the steps, go back to breath, get back in control. Position yourself, reposition your body if you need to, because it could be tension in your body that's causing you stress or distraction. And then lock back into your meditation and then meditate. And basically keep repeating that in process until what you attain, whatever you want. Maybe it's the confidence that you need to attack a challenge. Maybe you just need to feel calm and ease and de-stress. Maybe you're seeking your creator and going to those deeper spiritual states of awareness. You just got to keep detaching. And that's that process, is to keep detaching and returning back to breath, the source of life. And then keep elongating that meditative state, step 4. Then once you've arrived at a state of mind that you're ready to bring into your life, step 5, integrate. So once you're in that mindset that you need, or you're de-stressed, you open your eyes and awaken from your meditation, having integrated that experience. It's literally, you're taking a block of time out of your life, going from one state of mind to another. And you keep repeating this cycle of breathe, position, lock, meditate until you arrive at the state you need to come back into this life to handle whatever you're dealing with.
Oh, so I love that, because, and these are excellent tips for anyone that's meditating, but also especially for newbies. Because I remember when I started, and it would do it around noon every day. And that was like, I work, during the day. So it would be during the heightened part of my day where people were like coming at me. And I was like, oh my God, I can't do another thing. But that helped. It helped to be able to, take that time and get refocused and recentered on like what matters. Because, we're in jobs, and especially when you're like in corporate jobs and you're just thinking these emails and these meetings and these people. And I would do that almost like as a personal like challenge every day, because it was helping me to like, recenter. But when I discovered like, doing sleep meditation, I was like, oh, what have I been missing?
That's the beauty of meditation. People realize how quickly they can handle life. I would say the intensity of the situation in your life, you have to breathe to combat that. Breath is literally your counteracting force. So if you're thinking email, that's the creation, email, you're breathing to pull yourself out of it, and then the email latches back on, you breathe, get out of it. And just exercising that alone will immensely improve your life. Yeah,
because it started to help. Like, whereas when I felt like, if I was taking a break, if I was going to work out at noon, I was still in the back of my head, I would still be worried about like, well, what's happening downstairs on my computer? Are people still sending me emails and somebody asking me to do something? And when I started to like, meditate during that time, it just helped to be like, those emails will be there. Those people will be there. They're not going anywhere. And then to just sort of get back to that place of peace and purpose.
Amazing.
Yes. Yeah. So what are more of the spiritual aspects of meditation that you can share with us?
The spiritual aspects of meditation, this is where we can go deeply esoteric. Meditation, the spiritual aspects is ultimately, at the beginning, I said meditation is to study an experience of life. Well, let's say you're actively detaching from all the material elements of life that you're experiencing with your body. one of to start accessing these deeper, more spiritual states, you first got to improve or elevate how you recognize yourself. Right now, the majority of the world, the reason why so many of us struggle to meditate is because we're so attached to our bodies. We think of ourselves as body more than anything, which naturally, you know, we feel pain, we feel all these experiences, and all our fears are connected to our body. So we're going to really associate with the experience of our body. However, our body is only limited to the present experience. It's only limited to the here and now. I can even put your body into a time machine, send you 20 years into the future. Yes, in your mind, you're like, yeah, I'm in the future. I'm 20 years in the future. But your body and what you're experiencing is still a very present moment. Mm-hmm. Everything experienced with the physical senses is the here and now. But the moment you close your eyes and say, think of a memory, you're time traveling now. You're going to a place that doesn't exist in the present moment. When you think of an idea, or you imagine something about the future, or you perceive the future, like even anxiety, your body's not physically in that experience. You are there, but your body is not. So already within the mind, there's a world that's way more expansive, and you can access all these elements of these worlds, but your body's not there. So it's recognizing yourself first as what we would say a consciousness or a conscious entity. So you are moving. So here's consciousness. This is your body wrapped around it. And you're separating yourself from the body, and your body's sitting in meditation. Consciousness can move into the subconscious mind with all your memories. Consciousness can come back and play with your senses, with the body, or it can go into the future states and create perceptions. So it's recognizing yourself now at this tier of awareness is when things start to get very interesting, you know? Remember all the pain, all the fears and everything, all attached to your body. Everything that you struggle with in life is all connected to your body. And all the experiences that are causing you trouble, again, connected to your body. Consciousness itself doesn't have a body, really. It has your body, but itself, like if I asked you to think about what you had for breakfast this morning, and then go to that memory, but instead of going to that, reimagining your memory as with the body that you have, you can reimagine that memory as a dinosaur. You can literally rethink of that whole memory and be at the breakfast table, eating your breakfast as a dinosaur. Like you literally have that power. And that's why I say you will recognize yourself as a creator. Mm-hmm. You know, you are a creator witnessing creation. So even that memory of what you had for breakfast is a creation, and you're entering it as a creator. Do what the hell you want with it. And that's how you detach from traumas and stuff, because you realize how elusive that is. Mm-hmm. And then basically, once you start detaching from memories, you start detaching from future states, anxieties, and you start leaving all that behind, this little conscious entity is like, oh, where else can I go? Right. And then, and you just keep detaching, and all of a sudden you're entering more spiritual states. You know, you start turning that awareness onto yourself. Well, where did this creation, all of this life, everything that I'm experiencing as this conscious entity, where did all this stem from? You know, you're raising that question to a higher state until you eventually navigate that conscious entity into the body of the soul. So you have the body of the body in the body of the mind, and then you have the body and the soul, almost like this is going to sound really weird, like a little sperm meeting its egg, just going floating away, and there it's nestled into the soul. And now it's experiencing states of transcendence and enlightenment, if you want to call it that. I can go more deeper and esoteric with it, but I think at this stage, just understanding oneself as consciousness is how you would access those more spiritual aspects. And it's raising, and that's what we call raising consciousness, raising awareness. You're broadening your understanding of life and your experience of it. And then what happens is life becomes the tiniest experience of all of that. If you think about it, life, we're just here in the present moment. Mind, we have present, past, and future. Mm-hmm. Who knows where else we're going after that? So life is just this like, life is just the zero. It's literally a creation. It's just happening as we grow. Even our bodies create and change. And yeah, I won't deepen it too much. I'll end up going off on one. But yeah, there's lots to the spiritual aspects. I highly recommend it.
Yes. So talk about, I hope I'm not going to butcher this. Is it chakras?
Chakras, yeah.
Yes. And how do they improve our well-being?
Well, chakras are really fun. I can't believe that we're not utilizing them, and they're so obvious too. Chakras. Do you know how you have? I'm going to try and use this example. Do you have like a motherboard on a computer, and it has all these chips and all these little parts of it, and each function, like you have your hard drive, it does this part, and then you have this, and your computer can diagnose all this information because it has all this data in different areas of the computer.
Right.
So a chakra is like a little microchip in your body that has its own little data. And when you focus on it, it teaches you about how that particular area of your life, an area of your body is functioning. So for example, the first chakra, the root chakra, and I'm trying to think of a much nicer way to put it, but it's located at your anus or your butthole. and that's a pre-enlightenment state. The post-enlightenment state, that even elevates. But the most obvious way to start understanding your chakras is like, well, what's coming out of my butt? Is it healthy? You know, and that's where nutrition would really start. They would look at your stool and be like, whoa, you need to change your diet.
Right.
So things like that would be where you would start with chakras. And then you have 7 of them, and they teach you so many different aspects of life. So the first one is the root. It's all about your health and your physical wellness, because let's face it, the first thing you need to learn how to navigate through this life is how to keep it alive.
Right.
So you would start there. So you start with your chakras. So, and everything you need to understand about your connection to life starts with the root. How your breathing is connected to the root. It's that cyclical connection to the life on Earth. You inhale oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. The trees inhale carbon dioxide and exhale oxygen. You play already a vital role in sustaining the experience of life, in the collective experience of life. So even if you don't feel like as if you have much purpose, just by breathing, you have incredible purpose, you know? So you just need to make sure that you're living a life where you're breathing right, and that anything that's coming out of your body is just as useful to the earth as it is to you. Like you can grab a carrot out of the ground and start munching on it, but then that will change, and then basically what comes out of your butt can nourish the earth. It's that cyclical connection like breath.
Right. Yeah.
And it's really igniting that is where you would start. And once you've got a good grasp of that, you can move it to the sacral. And that's your next chakra. So that's basically where the second hole, basically, you know, your genitalia area. And it's basically the reason why it's connected to that is because it's all about play. So once you're physically healthy, you know how to sustain your physical well-being. It's time to play. It's like, what can you do with this body? How can you grow? And it's all about your curiosities and your passions. Are you curious about what's on top of that mountain? Are you curious about what's underneath that ocean? And it's about training and building your body so you can fulfill those curiosities and learn about the world. You know, the world is your playground. How you play within it is your choice. But you need to learn how to keep your body healthy and safe. And you need to learn how to navigate that into states of play. And once you've got those 2 down, your solar plexus, you've got self-trust. You can trust in yourself. You have a tangible piece of truth that is undeniable. When someone says, eat this, and you're like, well, it's not going to be good for me. I don't need that for my body. You can reject it. Someone says, come and play in this dungeon. You're like, no, I don't. That's not something I'm curious about. I'm not interested in that experience. I know I'm trying to get to the top of that mountain. So you don't get distracted. You know how you navigate through life. So you have that trust. So with that level of trust, your heart starts to open, your truth starts to come out, your third eye starts to awaken, and then access to higher knowledge starts coming through. These chakras are all connected. It's kind of like an electric current or flow of energy that starts very much with your roots, connecting to your roots, breathing, eating right, getting healthy, and then taking that to the next level. Well, now you're healthy. What are you going to do next? Now you're having fun. What are you going to do next? Now you trust yourself. What are you going to do next? You know, elevating your experience of life one chakra at a time until you reach enlightenment, and then the whole process ignites.
Nice. I like that. And I like the examples that you gave, you know, from the motherboard. I mean, because because you think about it and you're like that, the thing that makes that computer, makes your computer work. Like, I mean, it's like thinking about you and what are the things that make your body work. So those are great. So let's talk about your book, Meditate. Tell us about the key messages in your book.
The key message is anyone can meditate. You can literally, if you can breathe, you can meditate. I could not put this simpler enough. And the book is just to make people realize that there's a human intelligence that you should have been taught at school or a young age. Mm-hmm. And when most people read it, they're like, why wasn't I taught this? Mm-hmm. It really started, but yeah, the key message is that anyone can meditate. It's so simple. I took all the esoteric stuff out and kept it to the just like focus on the basics.
Right. Now, why did you write this book?
I was just shocked that this book wasn't already out. You know, there were so many key indicators in my life where I should have clocked on. Like when I was studying psychology, for example, mm-hmm. there was no mention of meditation whatsoever. And it blew my mind. I was like, why am I studying this stuff when they don't even know what consciousness is? You know, there's like 300 years of study I'm studying here. At home, I'm getting thousands of years of study. Yeah. So it was really confusing. And I thought there was like, I just generally thought people were doing it. Like I said, in my world, it was sleep. Mm-hmm. So when it came to putting this book together and why I wrote it, it was just common sense. And then I had the nudge from COVID too. I was running a meditation studio and I was really enjoying my little life. Mm-hmm. And then COVID hit and I couldn't teach my classes anymore. So I was like, well, I'm going to teach one way or the other. So I just started writing in isolation. And then next thing you know, I had a book.
Yes, a lot of, that's been COVID's been a very unfortunate thing for us, but also a good thing for a lot of people who have been able to, write books, who've been able to start businesses, who have been able to just do things, hey, meditate.
Just learn how to meditate. Yeah. It'll teach you everything you know about your life. It'll make you make the decisions you need to make to actually make this thing go.
Yep. So right now, obviously, we are still in a pandemic. So are you teaching online or virtual courses right now?
I am. On the 22nd, I'm teaching my live 4-week meditation training program. It's going to be, I can't wait for it. I'm so excited because it's going to be a training event like no other. I've noticed a lot of people go to spend so much money on retreats, the hotels, and all they come back with is a vague idea of what meditation is and having learned a very specific meditation technique. Mm-hmm. No one's teaching the formula. No one's teaching the really core roots to meditation that really enable you to activate your intelligence to meditate as opposed to using your intellect to meditate. So what I created was this 4-week program, which goes through everything. An introduction, so how to get started, understanding exactly what you're trying to do in meditation, what it is, so that you're not second guessing yourself, and you can recognize the meditative state from the non-meditative state. And then we're going to go into teaching the 5 steps to detach. Week 2, week 3, the transcendental journey, which is exciting. Everyone gets excited about that one. And then week 4, the chakras, integrative development. So I'm training online.
Awesome. Yes. And so, outside of your program, this program, are you facilitating any, one-on-one opportunities with people out there?
I am. It's the reason why I started the training program is because the one-on-ones they just weren't sustainable. It's so much easier to teach in a group, and teaching meditation. It's a classroom. It's a class. For one-on-ones, it's more so like individuals dealing with severe traumas. Struggling with mental health issues, struggling to because then what we'll do is we'll talk about it, and there's a little bit of coaching involved, but we'll really construct a meditation technique to help release that, help detach from that. I had one client, for example, who, and he was experiencing some very significant childhood trauma, and I just taught him how to basically shrink the memory in your memory, how to shrink his abuser to a grain of rice. That energy shift, huge transformation, just kind of paying attention, like, oh wait, I have power, I have wisdom now that I've gained that I didn't have when I was regressing to that memory, and teaching him how to carry all the wisdom that he's attained up until this point now back to that state, as opposed to regressing to that state.
Right. Okay, great. So because when you think about that, obviously, when you were talking about that, I saw like the person becoming the grain of rice.
Yeah.
I visualize that. So
even that is powerful.
Yes.
But we get right into the the details of it in a one-on-one.
Right.
But yeah, it's learning to remember you're a creator playing with creation. You have so much power, and that's the thing. Meditation is more about empowerment than it is about anything else. Forget stillness and relaxation. Empower your life, ignite it. You've got all these elements within you. Go have some fun. Life is good.
Yeah, that's why I had that blank look, because I was visualizing that. But also, when you said, just saying that, you're right. Like, for a person like myself, like, I'm a dreamer, and I always, like, it is amazing because my mind is already, like, always in playing these, like, you know, putting together these things, or like envisioning life in a, you know, a way it could be this way, or, you know, driving towards that. So it's definitely, and you're right, like, when you're meditating, it gives you that power to, like, I'm in control. I control this story and my thoughts and what I'm thinking right now. So
it's like everything, like, look how gorgeously you're dressed, right? That started out as an idea, as a thought, and you brought that idea or thought to life, literally, you know? And then, you know what's crazy? If you ever read the Torah, the Jewish kind of the holy book, that's how it starts. It says first there was a thought, and then that thought came to life. You know, it's insane how it all connects after a while.
Yes. No, that's awesome. How can my audience find you online, or purchase your book, or connect to you?
The book is available on Amazon, so you can search for Terry Sidhu, which is my formal name, or you can search for Meditate, Breathe into Meditation and Awaken Your Potential. But quite simply, you can go to meditatethebook.com, and you can directly access the book from there. There's a little bit of information on me, and if you want, I've put together a free meditation starter pack. So it's like a little mini course, and it'll teach you what meditation is, how to meditate, and to experience meditation. There's a guided meditation in there as well, just so that you can read the book, you can get all the resources there. But if you want to try it out and you're more of an interactive learner, there's the starter pack to get you started. So meditatethebook.com, it'll link you to everywhere you want to go. If you want to go straight to the starter pack, just meditatethebook.com/starter pack.
Awesome. That is great. Well, I'll also make sure I put the links into the show notes on YouTube, and also on the audio platform. That is great. I mean, guys, a starter pack for meditating. Let me just tell you, take advantage of it.
Yeah, I highly recommend it.
Yes.
Really. If nothing else, just start, man. Start changing that life of yours.
Yes. Once you start, you won't turn back. I mean, and I will say this, as I still say, a newbie being like a year in, I would still say to people, like, if you start and you get distracted, like, just come back, do what Terry said, as far as, like, getting control of your breathing, like, bring yourself back, because I did that too. Like, in the beginning, I would start, and then I would just be looking around, you know, something would happen, or my dog would bark, and I would, like, go, what?
No. It's like dragging yourself back. No, stay here.
Yeah, that's the great. I love that. I love that you put there's a visualization to everything, because I'm very visual, so I always, like, see it happening. So I could just see myself, like, going, and then you're like, no, come back.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely say, guys, please take advantage of it and try it. You'll be like, why did I not do this sooner? But you're doing it now, and you're taking the first step, and that is all that matters, is how you move forward. All right. Well, now we're moving into the 5 things with Terry. I love this part of the show. I mean, I feel like we've been deep this whole discussion.
Yeah. So, let's lighten this up.
I feel like I know Terry's mind, but this just gives our listeners and viewers just a little bit more insight into you as a person and how you operate and move throughout the day. So, 1, how do you start the day?
Oh, with music all the time.
Love it.
First thing I do, and this is contrary to what every guru or teacher will tell you, I grab my phone, open Spotify, and the first thing I usually find is a little bit of Beyonce or Rihanna, and just like boom, that on the speakers, and that gets me up going. That, you know, frequency is a powerful thing, and if you've got something that just makes you want to move out of that bed, do it.
I like that. I mean, that's real, because you're right. So many people will say like, oh, you know, I start the day with, you know, an affirmation, or I start the day with, you know, prayer, or I start the day with this. And I like that, because I definitely am a person who I love music, and it gets you going, and I'm like all for that, here for that.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's one positive affirmation, if you do speak to yourself daily?
Stay true. Just stay true. It doesn't matter about happiness. It doesn't matter about anything else. Stay true. Because once you become true and you are true to yourself, happiness becomes you, joy becomes you, bliss becomes you.
Yes.
All those yoga classes you attend, they're all trying to get you to an emotional state. All they need to try and teach you is how to be true and trusting in that. As soon as you unleash that in the world, the emotions are for you to play with.
Yes. What's one goal you set for yourself this year? And it could be professional, business, or whatever.
Oh, this year it's all about that paper. I ain't even gonna lie. I've got to get the resources I need. I want to start a foundation. I've got so many things I want to build. So yeah, I ain't even afraid. I actually heard this the other day, where, because I wasn't motivated by money ever. I just kind of flowed through life, and money was like, if I need it, I'll learn it, and then I'll do the thing that I need to create. And then if once I've created it, I'll learn some more and do it. But someone once said that money is an amplifier. It's something that, like, if the person that you are, add money to it, it just amplifies it. So I was like, oh, that's what I'm doing in 2021. I'm going to amplify myself. I need to get some cash money. Yes. I need to get those dollars in. So that's what I'm focused on. So definitely buy the book.
Buy the book. We need to amplify Terry's dollars.
Yeah, and I'll come over and I'll teach you in person.
I love that. What's your favorite self-care activity to do for yourself?
Self-care. Oh, there's so many things I do for self-care.
You can give me a few of them.
Well, meditation is definitely one of them. I think that's more self-sustainability more than self-care. Self-care, honestly, I'm going to talk very candidly here. I'm in Canada, so cannabis is legal. So self-care, honestly, glass of wine, roll a joint, after a long, good day, and just talk and be open and let my mind wander freely. I have a lot of big ideas that I collect during my day. As you can imagine, teaching meditation, working with all these people, dealing with all these traumatic experiences, my mind goes to all these ideas that I can't express and just go, I can't do that.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, after my meditation, sometimes I do it. That's actually a funny thing as well. I actually started teaching cannabis-friendly meditations for a little bit. And they were for medicinal cannabis patients who were struggling with the psychoactive states. So teaching them a few control techniques to help them, pull it back in, come back. And,
they were probably always running.
So get breath ahead of the psychoactive state.
Right.
And so I do some of that sometimes. But honestly, just have a joint and just enjoy it and just really relax. And everything my body needs, I serve anyway. So if I need to do exercise, if I need to have a bath, and all those things, they're just automatic now. So self-care for me, it's just about that indulgence, just giving myself moments like, I do friggin' good work. I'm going to let myself just to indulge in the experience of life. And why wouldn't you? There's so many fun things to do in life. Why are we not doing them? Why are we so judgmental and shit? Like, why? It makes no sense.
I mean,
the ancients were doing it. The Egyptians were doing it.
I mean, I hear you. And I think that, I think that's important, but I think it ties back to another thing you said earlier, that a lot of people haven't quite gotten there yet, is to be true to you. And once you are true to who you are as a person, then those things happen more freely and easily. You're not concerned about what somebody thinks. You're just like, I'm living I mean, they say it, living your best life. You're going to just live your best life. And I think that comes with, honoring who you are and being true to yourself. So I love that.
There's one thing I want to add about that too. I was like, especially as for you and I, as people of color in this world, we have an ancestral lineage, right? For the last at least 4, 5, 6, maybe even 1,000 years dating back. It's just been nonstop. So let's show our ancestors, they like our DNA flows through. You know how much data it takes just to do that? Like how much evolution it took just to move your pinky? So when you experience these enlightened states of being, these wonderful states of experience where you're really enjoying the experience of life, you're sending that energy down the ancestral line.
Yeah.
Like, so honor that, man. That's beautiful. I love that stuff. So when I'm doing like my tantric rituals and I'm having a joint and I'm having a glass of wine, I was like, cheers to everybody else too. Like, look at where we are today.
Yes.
Look at the state of life that we're in.
That's a very good way to look at it. I like that. I like that. And lastly, I mean, this might be a combination of what you just talked about, but how do you end the day?
How do I end the day? I don't get high every day, fortunately. Unfortunately, I don't know which way you would say. If I did, I would get no work done. I'll be having too much fun.
Exactly.
I do a meditation always. I meditate and I focus on everything that I've accomplished. And really, it's a detachment ritual, just letting everything go, letting everything be and bringing myself back to the present moment. Like I said, throughout my day, I'm dealing with so many thoughts and ideas. My mind spins out. It literally is, I'm dragging myself back at the end of the day, centering myself, and really getting ready to and reflect, like honor the day by just paying attention to it and what you did, what you didn't do, what you need to do, and just kind of organizing the mind a little bit. That's usually how I end my day. And that, because I like to rest, to sleep, and sleep really well. I love sleep. I really enjoy that, the whole process of rest. So clearing the mind to get ready for that is just wonderful. And a nice shower.
Yes, I love that. And I do like sleep too. I don't sleep for a long time, but when I am asleep, like it means everything to me to get the sleep that I do. Well, this was such a great conversation. I have to tell you, this was fun. It has been one of the most fun interviews that I've done.
Yes.
And I will say to you, I wish you a lot of success this year, amplifying, getting that money, Terry. And continuing to help people like you do.
Thank you.
But I definitely say to you, please come back. Please let me know when you have something that you want to come on and share. I definitely would love to have you back on anytime.
Thank you. Yeah, I've really enjoyed myself. Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Awesome. Well, stay tuned, everybody. I'll be right back.